Hey everybody, today I just wanted to briefly talk about the anime movie Short Piece. Now, this is only an hour long, and there's not really a whole lot that I can say about this without ruining the experience. And I don't mean that because there's a lot of depth within this movie. I mean that because this movie is broken down into 4 individual, really short films that are probably about 12 to 15 minutes, at most like 20 minutes apiece. So it's really short, and there's not really a whole lot that I can say about each individual film. The first little short movie that we have in this movie set here is my favorite out of the entire set. I'm not saying that the rest were bad. In fact, overall, I would probably have to give Short Piece maybe an 8.5 or a 9. It's really hard to say because this movie goes all directions with its different movies that are inside of it, or its short films. We have 4 different films. We have the first one, which is about this wandering guy who wanders into this temple to stay the night, but the temple is haunted by ghosts. I really like the message that this was sending about how everything was broken, and he's so peaceful and kind, and he decides to fix everything there. And on top of that, the animation was beautiful. That short movie, the short film in itself, kind of reminded me of the anime series Mononoke, or the short that it was created from in Ayakashi Samurai Horror Tales, just because it was inside of this old temple, this really small room that it would have all of these sliding doors, and you'd have such vibrant colors in that scene, and it was really beautiful for that whole short movie. We have 2 other short movies here about this the firefighter who's trying to fight this fire in his hometown, which is back in ancient Japan. I think it looked like somewhere in the Edo period, possibly, and he's a firefighter. He's trying to save one of his childhood friends from the fire. I'm not going to get too much into detail with that. We also had probably the short film that was hardest for me to watch was the one about this polar bear who was fighting against this giant goblin, and it was pretty rough because it was really violent for this polar bear. You see it bleeding and getting beat up by this giant goblin, and it was kind of hard to watch because you would generally feel that animals are helpless, but it actually takes this twist in a direction that I didn't see, and also there were kind of comedic elements about that part in itself. And then we have the 4th and final film, which is my second favorite out of this set, which looks like it's a group of these soldiers which are going around to these abandoned buildings, and looks like they're salvaging and scavenging for things, but they come across this mech that starts defending itself and fighting against them, and they're having to try and take it down. Now, I feel that there is a little bit of depth within this scene itself, just because it was a whole portrayal of war, basically, but I didn't really get to see too much of that just because it was so short. I would have to rewatch it, and this is just my initial impressions on watching it just this one time around. I'll probably have to watch this 2 or 3 more times. I'm not sure when I would get around to that, but just for the 1 hour and I think 12 minutes that I watched this entire series here, I would say this is easily a beautiful experience. It's not super intense. It's not really exciting. It's more along the lines of relaxing and beautiful. So as far as the art goes, it's actually consistent throughout the entire movie, despite the fact that its art style and animation changes a bit from time to time. In the first movie, it looks like it's almost computer-generated characters with a really dark, bold, black outline all the way around them, and it reminded me of Asura, or Asura's Crying, the movie that I reviewed a long time ago, where it mixed animation together, or anime together, with computer-generated characters, and it was really interesting watching that. But of course, we also had the environment of the rooms inside of the temple itself, which were animated beautifully, and they had a really great usage of color there. And then we had the other short little movies within this set here, which I felt were also animated beautifully, but I don't think all of the characters were actually done by CG. It really just depends on what movie you're looking at, but there were elements in each of the short movies that were animated by CG, and it looks like some of the same people may have done that. As far as the audio goes, I felt that this had a great soundtrack for everything that we were seeing. Like I said, we don't really see too much to really comment on it too much, but I felt that everything matched the atmosphere, and this really added to the element of relaxation that I found from it, even though I wouldn't really consider this to be a Zen type of movie by any means, but that's just the feeling that I personally took away from it. I was relaxed when watching watching this. This Blu-ray set also features an English dub track, which that's how I watched it, so feel free to watch it either way, because the English dub track, it's actually alright and it works well with this. They go to the point of having characters that sing, they sing in English, and I felt that they did a great job, or a pretty good job of dubbing this. Now, like I said, the dialogue itself really doesn't hold that much depth from what I've seen, just because it's 4 movies that are about 12 minutes apiece, maybe almost 20 minutes apiece, so the dialogue itself may not hold that much depth, but then again, I might have to rewatch this a few times to see if there are any other hidden meanings. So all in all, I wouldn't really consider this to be a review of Short Piece, more like a recommendation of it, but definitely check it out. And if you've seen Short Piece, and let me know your thoughts about it in the comments section below. Of course, my favorite film was the first film. Let me know what you thought about that one as well. And of course, in case you missed a few videos, be sure to check out my anime review playlist, and I also have the viewer choice top 5 worst anime of all time. Thank you for watching, thank you for all your support with your likes and comments, and I'll see you next time.